In 1855, a treaty between the U.S. government and the indigenous nations of the Salish, Kootenai, and Ponderay inked the boundaries of the Flathead Indian Reservation in present-day western Montana. These nations have shared the land and resources within since time immemorial. Here in the summer of 2000, these nations have again shared the summer powwow season. We, observers of this new millennium, brothers and sisters of the Salish, Kootenai, and Ponderay people, have collaborated and captured the summer celebrations of the Flathead Indian Reservation.
My name is Johnny R. Lee. My Indian name is Chotle, which means to make sweat, to build fire for sweat house. I'm from the Salish part of the Confederate Salish and Kootenai tribes here on the Flathead Reservation in western Montana. Celebrations, I guess, began way back into the 1890s or something like that. It was outlawed by the government to have celebrations. This powwow, like in Arlee, in order to make it okay for the government to accept it, is that they made it during the 4th of July so they could have it like celebrating the Independence Day. So it kind of made it okay for the Indians to celebrate.
Hi, joining us here is
James Bickrane,
and James, how old are you?
36.
And are you camping out here or one night stay?
No, I got my camp set up back that way, back in the West 40, East 40.
Are you a participant or a spectator?
I'm participating. I'm cruising around, getting my Willy Burger, my menudo, looking for tapes. I'm probably be singing later.
Well, as long as you've been showing up here at Arlee Powwow, what kind of changes have you seen so far?
Just the changes of the arbors, and I don't see really too much of a changes.
So what do you feel about the dust?
Get some pretty good Tootsie Rolls up your nose. I don't care for it, but it's tolerable.
Just a quick question. It's somewhat like a political issue about mascots. What's your views and feelings of us being known as savages and redskins and so forth, even on our own reservation?
I think as for an issue, I think there's much more important things that we should deal with in our tribe. I think there's a lot of issues that are a lot more important than just renaming mascots. I think we should concentrate more on that than renaming mascots and changing stuff in our communities, rather than in the big meetings they have in DC, they meet and they talk about mascots. You know, we have a lot more issues that are definitely more important than a mascot, but I mean, it is a negative stereotype amongst Indians.
What I believe is that these mascots, they set a stereotype. Everybody in America thinks they know who Indians really are, but they don't know. And these mascots just make it even worse. It helps keep that stereotype going, and I think it's about time that it ends, you know. And we know who we are, and if somebody wants to come ask us in a respectful way, face to face, not through television, not through sports, face to face with a native person, you know, ask them who they really are, then that's fine, you know. But other than that, you know, just we want to be who we are.
Whoa, well, here we go again. Today right now that's standing with me is
Patrick Pierre III.
And Patrick, can you tell us your tribal affiliation and your age?
Yeah, I'm Salish Kootenai and I'm 20 years old and I dance traditional
And can you tell us the difference between traditional and fancy and grass?
Yeah, well, traditional they only got, let's say, one bustle or something, or a beautiful outfit like mine. And grass dancers, they have some yarn and maybe some ribbon, real beautiful outfits. And fancy dancers, they have two bustles, beautiful outfits, beautiful. And that's about it.
Have you been winning any competition lately?
No, not lately. Actually, I haven't won one. I just dance for the fun.
So dancing is what brings you here, just for the fun of it?
Dancing brings me, yeah. Dancing and singing bring me to a powwow. See all my beautiful people, all my beautiful elders, all the good dancers and the good drums.
What kind of encouragement can you give to the broader audience here of bringing more younger men in to participate in these events?
Well, that's kind of hard because a lot of people are stubborn. But if anything, I just tell them to try it out. You'll have fun.
Well, you heard it from Patrick Pierre. Come over here, try it out, and have some fun.
Kisu kyukit hukaklik ak anukam kopmoko. In Kootenai, that means it's dust from the ashes. A long time ago, earlier in the 20th century, they used to have a powwow up in Elmo, and they had one every year for a while, and then it died out. I don't know exactly which years that it died out, but it died out. And one of the elders that was telling us about it was Tony Matthias, and he was talking with a group of us, 20-some years ago, up at his house, and was telling us, we really should get the Elmo powwow started again. Well, at first, we had our little arbor. The electricity was, not all that great, so it was all run together between the food stands and our little dance arbor, and whenever somebody would order a hamburger at the food stand and they'd turn on the hot plate, it would cut out the power over at the dance arena. And so, it was pretty small that first year. The way the powwows changed a long time ago, the women never used to dance, the women never sat at the drum. Well, when times changed, the powwows changed, and the American society, the new attitudes kind of convinced us that if a woman, wasn't directly involved, then she was somehow having lesser of a role, or her role was deserved less respect. And that isn't the way that it was in traditional culture. The way that it was in traditional culture was that a woman's role was different, but it wasn't less. It was never considered less in the society. We resisted having, special categories for fancy dance and grass dance, because initially those weren't a part of the Kootenai powwows or the Elmo powwow. A long time ago, those weren't a part of it, and so the traditionalists really wanted to keep it the way that it was. That was the kind of powwow that they wanted to revive. And things are changing, and it's gradually turning more into the way the rest of the powwows are today. I'm not saying that the powwows are less today, just like the woman's role wasn't really less, and nowadays people go to the powwows to dance and to visit and to, a lot of the things that happen at the powwows are evolved into that. But my hope would be that all of that, it's good. It's good to go to the powwow and to see your friends, because a lot of times during the year, that's the only time that you see them, is at the powwows. And so that's a good part of it. The good things that happened, the fun for all of the spectators, the fun for the food, the camaraderie, going and being with your friends and everything. All of those are very important parts of it, but some of the traditional part of it should be brought back.
So that's kind of how the standing era powwow got started. So that's where we're at today. It's still evolving into, changing into what is, you know, what is popular and current today, and what people like to do at the powwows. That's kind of the direction that the powwow is going.
I think the main thing I'd like to see changed, I don't know how it would be done at Arlee, unless they tore up the grounds and started all over again. But to see the whole encampment in a nice circle, that's the way it used to be a long time ago. Everything was in a circle. That's the way Indian life is, in a circle, in that circle. And that was in the early 50s. I saw that. And they had, in the circle, all the teepees had their doors facing toward the center. In the center was a dance pavilion. That was in a circle. And that was kind of the hub, the heart of the place. In that dance circle, in the middle was the drum. That was where the heartbeat came from. And that was the calling of the people.
Hey, wake up, security.
Drugs, alcohol, fireworks, firearms.
Hey.